solid, straight right hand.
These scenes happened during the 2024 Olympics. Now, to call what happened next a backlash is an understatement. Tons of people complaining, saying that this is a transgender athlete and this is a man competing against women, where people could become seriously hurt. But that's not true. It's categorically false. Imane has what's described as DSD, or different sexual development, a condition that means that yes, she may present with XY chromosomes, even though chromosomal tests aren't perfect, but she was assigned female at birth by the same doctor who delivered her, and she's lived her entire life as a woman. She has elevated levels of testosterone, yes, but that doesn't make somebody a man. At the Olympics, World Athletics is responsible for enforcing who's a woman and who's a man in competition. But did you know that these policies have their origin during the 1930s, specifically from Nazi Germany?
Like a modern Caesar, he stands on the balcony to receive the salutes of the athletes of 50 nations.
In many ways, this policy has its origins in the story of Heinrich Retjen, a person who placed 6th in the women's competition for high jump in the 1936 Olympics. The story became that they quietly left and started living as a man, and that this was a case of gender fraud, that the Nazis had forced this person to compete as a woman. But is that story really true? So Retjen was born and assigned to be female at birth, but from a very early age they began to question their gender identity. They competed, yes, in the 1936 Olympics, placing 6th in high jump. That all changed when, on the way to Vienna, they were pulled aside by Nazi soldiers who, after examination, decided indeed that Heinz was a man. And in reality, the documents from their era suggest that Heinz was really what we would describe now as intersex, but the words for that didn't exist at the time. And who was going to challenge a Nazi German soldier who was very much imbibed in a culture that said what's right and what's wrong on strict gender and sexual norms? Living with the reality of intersex people existing, what the Nazis did was try and cover it up. When it comes to Imane, people are using her situation to attack transgender people and other gender minorities, people who don't quite fit into the binary choice that many of us presented with. But that doesn't mean that Imane or anybody else is deserving of less human rights, that they should be forced to live a certain way because of what somebody else thinks that they should be or are. Of course, sport is about protecting the competitors and fair competition, but it's also about recognizing that human beings take a variety of shapes and forms, and that the way forward is not through hate or abuse, but through dialogue. But what do you think? Have your say.